Hi there. So this is trade number one: how to buy stocks at reduced cost or get paid for not buying. It sounds a little bit weird, but we'll see what we mean as we get into it. So before we get into this, we need to go a few steps back to get some of the essential knowledge around option contracts. And I might just need to shut myself down here for a little while. So there are two types of options. There are what are called put options and call options. Don't need to worry too much about the names, but we need to worry about what's in this little matrix here. You can be a buyer or a seller of an option contract. If you buy an option, you get rights. If you sell an option contract, you take on obligations. Okay, so buyers pay for rights and sellers take on obligations. They get paid to take on the obligations. Okay, so we've got a fairly simple matrix here with some rights and obligations, but it has some sort of far-reaching consequences for how we can build income. So the first trade that we look at is selling a put. We are put sellers. So we sell put options, and we get paid for doing this. We get paid to take on the obligation to buy a stock. It's almost like we are selling insurance. So we get paid and we agree to buy a stock at a particular price. So we'll just see how this works out. But these are the key concepts. Okay, these are the things that we need to remember. Buyers pay for rights, and they're usually paying for some sort of insurance. Sellers, we get paid for taking on obligations. It's like we're the insurance company. We are primarily option sellers in our strategy. We get paid for taking on obligations. It's like we are the insurance company. Okay, so this is our first trade in our strategy. So remember, we've got a whole strategy blueprint here, and there's a logical sequence to it. This is the first trade where we take our cash, we've got capital, and we can use it to start building an income stream by taking on some obligations to buy stocks that we might like to own. So key features of the trade: selling a cash secured put. Okay, it sounds complicated. All it means is that we've got the cash to be able to buy the stock if we become obliged to if we have to take on that obligation. So adding a little bit more complexity in here, the option chain. Options, if we look at this up here, have different expirations. Every options contract is time bound. Okay, so it expires at a particular point in time in the future, and we can choose that time in the future. Typically they're every month, and sometimes there are different dates as well, but there's usually a monthly expiration for any options chain. And this example here is showing SLV, which is a fund that is designed to mimic the price movements of silver. So let's just have a little look at this for SLV. Say we choose the expiration for this contract, say 49 days into the future. This is an old example, so don't worry about the dates too much, but it's 49 days into the future. This contract is going to expire. And we'll remember we're selling puts, okay? Now, when we look at a market, there is always a bid and an ask, okay? Now, the way the market works is we can always sell at the bid price, we can always buy at the asking price. Okay, so we sell at the bid. It's just an important thing to remember. We sell at this price here. In this market, you can buy at this price here. It's just how two-sided markets are constructed for efficiency mainly, so that markets can clear. So imagine that SLV is trading at 14.32, and we might be happy to buy silver or SLV at $14. We don't really want to pay 14.32, for example, but we'll be happy to buy it at 14 for whatever reasons. So we choose that expiration, and we choose our strike price of 14. That's the price we're happy to buy SLV at, with it currently trading 14.32 if we wanted to accumulate some. we sell a put at the bid. This means we get paid $0.19 per share for taking on the obligation to buy stock at 14. So we're insuring. So the person who's on the other side of this contract is getting some insurance that even if the price of SLV drops below down to 13.5, 30, we will buy the stock at 14 up until this expiration date. And for that, we get paid $0.19 per share, which gives us a little discount as well. So effectively, if we end up buying at 14, we've actually collected this as well. So our actual break-even price is $13.81. So we're down here some now with our break-even if we actually have to buy. But what I really want to do, what the strategy is about, is collecting this little amount of money all the time. Okay, so now options contract. One option contract commands 100 shares. So the $0.19 per share is actually equivalent to $19 per contract. This times by 100 shares, we collect $19 per contract. Okay, so if we sell one contract, we collect $19. Okay, so this is a summary of what it means to sell a cash secured put. So we take on the obligation to buy the stock at the price. So for this example, we sell a put with a $14 strike price. We get paid $0.19 per share, which is equal to $19 per contract. And we take on that obligation to buy 100 shares of SLV per contract at 14 up until this expiration. Now, what will happen is if the price of SLV stays above $14, we just get to keep the $19 that we've collected. That's just ours to keep, no matter what happens. And if the price stays above 14, we will not have to buy those shares at 14 because the owner of the shares can go into the market and sell them for greater than 14, so they will not assign us the shares at 14. But if the price of SLV in this time frame goes below 14, we can be assigned by the put contract buyer. We can be obligated to buy 100 shares per contract at 14. So that becomes our risk. If SLV goes down, 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 we are stuck buying them at 14. That's the risk we're taking on. Remember that we've collected 0.19, so our actual price is 13.81. Okay, so you can sort of see how this fits together. We'll need to do some practical examples over time to really get this, but this is how we get paid for taking on an obligation to buy stock at a reduced price. Okay, so we'll look into this in a little bit more detail, but this is what we do, and we do this every month. We can repeatedly do it until we get assigned stock. And then we have another part of the strategy to deal with and build some more income when we get assigned the stock. Okay, so that's a brief run through of the way that you can make your first income stream, and we'll work on that and consolidate that and see how it fits into the rest of the overall strategy as we go. Okay, if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll get into that there. Okay, see you soon.